Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M,
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
A little midweek action for the A&M baseball team. They've won 2 in a row now. They beat Georgia in the last game of the series, and they beat HCU yesterday 5-1. Nice pitching performance, Obi.
Yeah, I would expect that. But maybe we're to the point where we don't take anything for granted.
Yep, Cole Hubert was the story. Left-hander, a freshman. He's from Pennsylvania. Used to be a wrestler.
Okay.
All right, he can fight. I even think Coach Early said he would take these guys as his bodyguards. But let's see, he went 4 1 scoreless innings without issuing a walk, and was really, really good, which we need more young guys developing because we don't know how the rest of the SEC schedule is going to look like. Any
positive pitching is welcome.
Yep.
Welcome news.
They did not issue a walk 6 times this season, which is a little different than what we've seen in SEC play.
Yeah.
You know, but they were really good before SEC play. They've continued that trend in the midweeks.
Well, hopefully they'll continue it this weekend against. Is it the Missouri Tigers?
It's the Missouri Tigers who were winless last year.
Until
the A&M series. A&M, for those who need a reminder, and we'll let the baseball bunch guys really break this down on Friday, but if you need a reminder, A&M obviously had a rough start to SEC play. They got on track. They went 2 straight against Tennessee after getting no hit. Right. They won an LSU series. LSU won the national championship. They were rolling. They were on their way.
Just needed to win a series at home against the worst team in the league, Missouri.
I think at the time, were they like 0-13 at the time? Something like that. Right?
And I think A&M got out to like a 3 or 4-0 lead, maybe more than that.
And then Missouri sweeps them.
I saw it and I still don't believe it.
So I believe I read that, I'm sure there's a little bit of revenge on their mind. I think I read Coach Early talking about that. But regardless, it's not about revenge, although it is.
Why would it be? I mean, the revenge should be on yourself.
Yeah, you should be mad at yourself.
Yeah.
But this is a better Missouri team than they were a year ago. It doesn't matter. I don't care who. You got to win this series.
They got beat by Illinois last night.
They did.
Missouri.
But
midweek games, who knows?
And Texas, by the way, I think it was 7-0. Nick, you probably have the exact notes.
It was 7-0.
7-0, and then U of H came back and beat them 9-7.
3 3-run innings.
I like that.
Yeah.
See, Houston, every once in a while when you win, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to A&M.
Back to the Aggies.
You need who was it on the show? Oh, it was Scott Livingstone. Okay. They need to sweep this series. I'm not predicting a sweep. I'm hoping for a sweep.
Yeah.
You sweep Missouri.
You definitely need to win the series.
You can't get swept. Okay?
No.
Because all that beat downs we've done in football the last couple of years go away if you get swept by Missouri 2 years in a row, right?
Well, I will still take the football wins.
Yeah, but, you always will.
But you gotta. If you're going to be a factor in the SEC and the playoff, you need to start winning some series and
SEC series. Yeah,
SEC series, and I think that I'm guessing that Missouri will prove to be, if not the weakest, one of the weakest teams in the league.
So here's it is, but it isn't commentary.
Okay.
A&M has lost to elite teams Okay, UCLA, Georgia.
Georgia's what, top 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The first series. Why am I blanking?
Oklahoma.
Thank you. On the road. Right. So elite teams.
Another top 10 team.
So like, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I get it. The other part is like, I want to be the elite team.
Right.
I got used to being elite.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was just a season and a half ago.
Yeah. So to work your way back to that, a series against Vanderbilt, and obviously this weekend against Missouri. You really got to have these next couple of series.
You do, and I think they'll be as good as their pitching.
Yeah. Troy and Wilson hit another bomb yesterday.
He did, as did Caden Sorrell.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Caden Sorrell's got 12 on the year now.
12 now.
See what, number 8 all time for A&M, something like that.
And remember, he missed half of last year.
Yeah. He has been so fun. I mean, just even his freshman year when he started playing, like you knew like this kid's got something special.
Well, yeah. By the way, that Jordan Wilson, that is a very massive young man.
He's a man.
Seems like he ought to be playing on the other side of the track.
He could probably play both. But good to see the young players, and that's what the midweeks are all about, right? Like you want guys pitching that maybe didn't get as much of a role over the weekend for whatever reason. You want your guys in rhythm, but you also want young players to kind of feel good and get some at bats and get some opportunities.
And quite frankly, if a guy who's playing more on midweek games starts hitting the ball a lot, and if somebody on the weekend is struggling, why wouldn't you say, "Yeah, let's give this other guy a shot"?
So I have not brought up this stat on the show at all. I don't think I brought it up once. I hope I haven't.
Okay.
Because it's a really good stat. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't want to jinx it, but I'm just going to say,
I'm
Boston
intrigued.
Kellner is really good at getting on base. That's all I'm saying. He's good at getting on base.
Okay.
I've asked Coach Early about it. He's good at getting on base. That's it. Not telling you the stat. Don't Google it. Just roll with it.
Okay, I'll believe you.
Okay. I'm not going to say it on air at least.
Seems like that Harrison guy is good at getting on base. He doesn't have a great batting average.
Yeah, he is good.
I think Richard Zane called him a magnet.
Yeah.
Because he gets hit by pitches so often.
So, but when this team was really, really good, they walked a lot.
Yes, they did.
They struck out a lot. They hit a lot of home runs. This team is doing a lot of that. Okay?
We'd like to see a little bit more consistency offensively.
Yeah, not just 130 run game, right?
But again, I'm good with the hitting side of the game.
Yeah,
for A&M. I figure eventually they're going to have a big inning, and maybe it's not going to happen in every game. There's going to be the game where you get 3 or 4. Maybe the other team, maybe you're just off, or the other team's pitcher is having a great game, but consistently, I expect them to score 7, 8 runs or more, right?
Yeah.
I just hope that they can hold the opponent to under
0.
that. Yeah.
I like scoreless.
I'll take, if my team scores 7, I'll gladly give up 6.
Will you?
Yeah.
All right. Pro Day, buddy.
Yeah, Pro Day.
Pro Day's coming up.
It's today, yeah.
It's one of your favorite days, right?
Well,
we just did the combine, right? So we've done, this is good. This is, I like seeing the players, right? And some of the ones that didn't go to the combine will be there, like E.J. Smith and others.
What I would like to, hopefully he'll be available, is because the one thing you can't do at the combine is talk to the players after they've done their events. Participated.
Yeah.
So like a guy like Albert Regis, did I not see that he was clocked with a 4.88?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, that's worthy of discussion.
Yeah.
He's a 300-something pound guy, and he's going to 4.88. That in itself should have ensured that he's going to get drafted maybe higher than we think. I'm not saying he's going to be a first or second or third round pick, but what if he shows up in the 4th or 5th round? Because that's the kind of guy I'd want to talk to because of that.
Yeah. And also, I want to see what they do in some of the events they didn't do at Pro Day.
Yeah.
I don't remember,
KC didn't run.
Right. Is he going to run here? Does he even have to? It is a pretty loaded wide receiver draft, right? So, does he need to? Probably does, right?
Maybe they want to see it, but look, I think all you got to do is turn on the tape video, whatever you want to say.
Put the film on, bro.
And watch him run away from people.
Yep.
And they say, oh, he must be fast. Because I remember first game of the year. No, I'm sorry, not the first game of the year. For A&M, it was the second game of the year. Or third game of the year. All right, it's the Notre Dame game.
Early game.
And he's going deep, and the pass is underthrown. So he's already beaten guys deep.
And you got to come back around.
Well, he kind of slows up, adjusts on the ball, goes high, and catches it, and comes down at the 1 yard line. Remember that? Yes. I'm thinking, all I've got to see to be sold on KC Concepcion is that play. I'm seeing speed. He's running past the guys that are two guys that are. Oh, he adjusts on the ball. And then he goes up and gets
skies
it.
For it.
What else do you need to see that makes him a great player?
He runs with reckless abandon. He avoids contact, but also does not mind giving you a little bit of contact, right? He's shifty slash. I'll give it to you. He talked about, tell me if I'm correct on this, at the combine, that one of the things he had heard from scouts was he needs to not have a couple of drops.
Yeah, that's what I think he had 7 drops last year. And I think that's the one thing that the NFL people are a little bit concerned about. But you also know this, they always go in and find your faults.
Yep.
Even if you have none, they'll find some faults, right?
Yes.
But to me, that's a concentration issue. I remember when he had a drop, it was shocking to me when everything for A&M was going bad in that first half against South Carolina. Yeah. And he dropped one, and he's like, oh, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
But I think just like in that game, there was a whole lot of people that just didn't have focus. So it's improving your focus. I don't think that'll be an issue for KC.
When we were in Indy, do you remember the team that I felt like came up the most with Aggies? Like when we'd ask KC and others, like, hey, what teams have you talked to? There was a team that came up all the time.
Huh.
I mean.
Well, the Cowboys did.
Yes, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So there was a report last night, and Billy then followed up with some really good intel. Billy Lucci, Dallas Cowboys contingent treated A&M prospects to a pro day dinner this evening in College Station. That happened last night. KC Concepcion, Cassius Howell, Torian York, Will Lee, Nate Borkature, Chase Basantis, Trey Zune, Albert Regis, Demetrius Cranover, Tyler Onyedem, and Scooby Williams.
I'm glad I don't have to pick up that bill.
Gosh, right? I want to know where they went.
Oh, I pretty much guess.
I got a place they could have gone, but it's probably not open at night.
A place? Oh, yeah.
It's just
not
Thursday.
That. Yeah, they probably would have made an exception.
For that crew, I bet you they would have. They would have catered it. They would go wherever. Yeah. But if the Cowboys do what they're hinting at, I might become a huge Cowboys fan with you, buddy.
Well, all I'd say to that is, Jerry, it's about damn time. I was preaching to him, hey, pleading, draft Devon Achane, draft Justin Matabike, draft Edgerrin Cooper.
You did. Those guys would have looked very good.
Well, you think the Cowboys have been having issues? Well, at linebacker, and they finally solved defensive tackle because
they didn't trade for him when they traded Michael Parsons. You could have had edge.
I have a friend who covers the Packers.
Said they were going to.
He said they were not. The Packers are not interested in getting rid of Edgerrin Cooper in any shape, form, or fashion.
Well, then the Cowboys should have kept Michael Parsons then.
They should have just drafted Edge Cooper and had him with Michael Parsons. If they just put me in charge of that team, we'd win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so we'll one name that we'll talk about that's not on that list, we'll talk about in the next segment that I wish was on that list, but that's fine. Well, this is TexAgs Live. You knew that.
I did know that. It's brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I knew that.
I know you did.
We're in the Roller Insurance Studio.
Jason, Jackson, Keith, Morgan, and the family.
The humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this hour, we call it the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations.
Indeed. That is correct, sir.
Top of the show, we just go.
Just go.
Yeah, I mean, why would we stop?
We're like Elko on 4th and short. Go for it.
Go for it. We're like KC Concepcion running past people. We're going.
Just go.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, call us up on the Buppies Catering Bartending Hotline, 979-693.
1150.
Thank you. Or you can text us on that same number, but we call it a different name.
It's the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line.
979-693-1150. Thank you. Let's go around the room. We go left to right. We go behind the glass, through the television. We see our director, our friend, tomorrow's host, Nick Savage.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
Howdy.
Are y'all looking forward to Pro Day?
Yeah, I like seeing the players. I like yeah, I have mixed them. I haven't been able to go to many pro days since I've been here because typically it's earlier during the show. I think today starts at 12:30, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be there for most of it. I like seeing the guys and talking to them. I do. Even if I just talked to them a couple weeks ago, I enjoy it. And this is like really our last opportunity to talk to them before they're NFL stars.
Yeah.
Well, my question for y'all for Pro Day is, who do you think is going to improve their stock the most today? Do you think it's going to be one of the guys that didn't go to the Combine, or is it going to be KC if he runs a 40 or something or does something he didn't do at the Combine? Will it be one of those guys?
Well, it's not KC because I keep hearing him as being a first-round pick anyway.
Scooby, maybe?
Scooby, maybe, yeah.
Because he didn't do much, right? I'm trying to remember what he did at the Combine. He didn't do anything. Thank you, Nick. He yelled at me.
Yeah, so he is. I don't know.
Crown already is getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah. I don't.
Regis had a great one.
Did Basantes lift?
I don't remember anything.
Because
I don't remember what I ate
he's strong
yesterday.
as an ox. So if he didn't lift, that maybe he has that opportunity. And I keep seeing that Basantes is a second-round pick. So I don't know how much that would improve his status.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
You think A&M ultimately ends up with 0, 1, 2, 3 first-round picks?
I'm going to say 1. I'm going to say KC Concepcion, and it should be 2. But
Cassius
just
drops to the second round.
because his arms are not long enough.
Yeah.
Basantis did everything, by the way.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
29 bench press reps, David.
Yeah, I was flying.
Appreciate that.
I was flying home when they were. But
Nick,
so that would be the only knock on Cassius.
Yeah.
But so much was made of it. It's now made me think, okay, he'll drop to the second round. And hopefully if he does, the Cowboys are drafting. They can use a guy that can get to the passer.
Nick, you weren't directing when I interviewed Anto Saka yesterday, but I don't know if you heard the first few minutes or the last few minutes.
I did. Trust me, I did.
That is my boy.
Yeah, you're
Oh, my God. We're best friends. First off, smartest guy we've had in the studio. Very smart. Like, extremely, just so smart. And his family puts education way before football. He almost went to Princeton. He goes, Mom, I got to go play somewhere that I can actually play, against top competition. So he ended up going to Northwestern. It was a very good school. But very smart. Loves reading. Every day he reads motivational speakers, Jocko and David Goggins. This is my kind of guy. Just that guy's.
It's gonna be great when he has a great season, and so we can have scoreboard on Billy say, "Hey, here's a guy with that mindset. Look what happened when he goes 1-1 next year."
I just wonder how many grams of protein he has a day.
I'm going to assume he's at around 260 grams of protein a day. That's a joke between OB and I because I did ask him how many grams of protein he had yesterday.
And I have no idea.
Oh, at the break, we're going to talk. I want to find out. All right, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Kayla Gaither is in the hizzy. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
We're good. This is a softball day for you. You're excited.
It is a huge softball day. They had an incredible outing last night. Do y'all want to know the score of last night's game?
They scored 18.
18-3. Run rule in 5 innings against Sam Houston.
Is that good?
It's incredible.
Okay.
Didn't the men score 18?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
So they say, okay, if you can do it, we can do it.
The golfers play 18?
18.
There's no real
But they had 3 home runs in the first inning last night, and then 2 more to follow up. So just an incredible outing from the offense.
Would be 5 home runs.
3 plus
Would be
2,
5 home
carry
runs.
the 3 plus 1. Yeah, that is 5. Yeah.
But they're taking on number one UT in Austin this weekend. So they're going to have a 3-game series for their 3rd SEC series of the year.
Texas is number 2, right?
They're number 1.
They're number 1
this week. Yes, sir. But yeah.
I'd like to beat them.
Of course.
Really would like to beat them.
Would love to beat them.
I mean, Texas baseball lost yesterday. But Texas basketball is still rolling.
Give them credit. They are still playing. They're in the Sweet 16 now. If you objectively, and got some good matchups.
Yeah, but they won them.
But they made it. They
won them.
Give them credit.
By the way, because you brought it up, tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Tomorrow is the Sweet 16 at Toyota Center, right? Houston's playing. So I am going to be in that area tomorrow for this event that I'm doing.
Okay.
And it's not about me, but that's happening. Astros opening day is happening. And the event that I'm at that's got thousands of people participating, all in a little square block. Toyota Center, Minute Maid, and George R. Brown.
That you should go watch Texas A&M play Texas just because it won't be as crowded.
Texas A&M play Texas. Oh,
softball.
I'm going to be in Houston though.
So I'm telling everybody else.
Everybody else, yeah.
If you want to avoid the crowds, who am I kidding? There's going to be a crowd. There's always a crowd when Texas A&M and Texas play.
It'll be a packed house for sure.
All right, give us one more story before we hit a break.
To stay on the football topic, Ashton Bethel-Roman yesterday talked to the media. He said he saw a list on Instagram that our wide receiver core this year is ranked 7th, and he thinks we're number 1 in the nation. And he said, we got real dogs, people that understand the game of football more than just being good at it. So what are y'all's thoughts on that?
They got real dogs with the W.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, they've got an All-American coming back, and Mario Craver.
Yep.
Isaiah Horton's been really good at two different programs. So he comes to Texas A&M. I expect him to be very productive. And if you look at Ashton Bethel-Roman in the second half of last season, he was extremely productive.
Yep.
He only had 5 catches through 6 games, finished with 24 and 5 touchdowns. So 5 touchdowns in the last second half of the season. And you remember the one against South Carolina?
The diving catch. Yeah.
Spectacular. So remember the one-handed catch against LSU. So I think I'm not ready to say they're going to be the number 1 receiving core in the country, right? There were some guys up at Ohio State.
They're pretty good, yeah.
But they could be, as a group, really, really good.
Let's talk 1775.
Speaking of really, really good.
Yeah, they're the best. We're not going to do George Strait songs, Clint Black, Garth Brooks. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to tell you the facts, OB.
The facts.
And the facts are...
That's the fact, Jack. The facts are the best barbecue in the world is Texas barbecue, and the best Texas barbecue is at 1775.
Do the math. That means they're the best.
They're the best.
Simply the best.
Simply Tina Turner.
Better than all the rest.
If Tina Turner were alive today, the first thing she'd want to do, I bet, if she was in town, is go to 1775 and partake of that succulent brisket.
The Thunderdome, baby.
Yeah. And partake of that jalapeno cheese sausage and those amazing pork ribs. And you know what? She would even probably have some of that queso mac and cheese.
Oh, wouldn't she not?
Yeah. That'd piss off Ike if he couldn't get any.
Well, you know what?
What?
You might slap Ike with a little bit of the pork ribs.
Now, she should eat the pork ribs in front of.
Oh, just to get him angry.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe not. He has anger issues. He had anger issues.
Do you think our young audience has any
no
clue
idea what we're talking about?
Do you even think Nick knows who Ike Turner is?
They may not even know who Tina is.
Do you know who Tina Turner is or Ike Turner? Be honest.
I'm not going to say it on air, but I think I do. But we'll talk about it at the break.
All right. What's love got to do with it, Nick? 1775, TXBBQ.com, 979-492-6241. It's 1775.
And it's good.
Ay, qué rico. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. OB.
Yeah.
Who from the potential NFL draft picks from A&M you think could be a sleeper? Because PFF has a sleeper that I agree with, but they have a question about this sleeper.
Well, I wonder who qualifies as a sleeper. Like, would Zoom qualify as a sleeper?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you who it is, okay? Because I think this...
Is it York?
No, it's Le'Veon Moss. PFF, sleeper running backs in the 2026 draft. Running backs, okay, so I didn't tell you that part. Can Le'Veon Moss overcome his injury history? He couldn't finish either of the last 2 seasons, but was among the highest graded runners when healthy. I almost feel like that's unfair for Le'Veon because of the kind of injuries he got, but I understand why you would ask those questions.
And I think the thing that about him and the injury situation that NFL teams are not going to be worried about, or why they're not going to be as concerned about the injuries. They were 2 different injuries, were they not?
Yep. Knee and ankle.
Bad luck.
Yep. Way he got hit, the way he fell, like that all play a part.
Yeah. He runs so hard. He was on his way to probably the best game of his career when he got hurt against Florida.
Yeah.
I think he had 100 yards on like 6 carries or something like that. Had a nice 25-yard touchdown run in that game.
The game changed after that.
He's so good. He's so powerful. I think he's the kind of running back that fits NFL offenses. They don't typically look like they're going for that big play running back as much as that guy that can make a move and get you 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, I love the kid. I mean, the young man, he's always been great to us, but his production on the field when healthy, fantastic, like elite level.
I can remember the game at Florida when he had a couple of runs where he just goes into the line and it looks like everything stopped, and he just keeps, driving his legs, and he breaks out and turns what for a normal guy is a 2-yard gain into 20-yard gains.
Let's hit a break because we got Tom Schuberth.
Okay.
Close out the basketball season with good old Tom on the other side. Right now, small business owners, listen up. Caldwell Country Chevrolet is your business elite dealer here in the Brazos Valley. Whether you need service body trucks, flatbeds, or medium-duty workhorses, they've got the inventory and the expertise for your operation. They understand what it takes to take your business to the next level. They are locally owned, and they operate right there in Caldwell. They're fantastic. Their team knows commercial vehicles inside and out. They're ready to help you find the right equipment to get the job done. And remember, when you buy a vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet, you get free oil change for the life of that vehicle as long as you own that vehicle. It's about a 15-minute drive. The edge of Bryant to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. OB, we didn't talk about the holistic planning cool zone.
The cool zone.
We left the cool zone. We
never really leave the cool zone. The cool zone doesn't really leave us.
But you know who's cool?
Tom Schuberth.
I was going to say Ice-T. Or Tom Schuberth.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Is that why you call it
Iced tea
for Tom?
Come talk with you guys. I love listening to you on the way in because you always have some funny topics and just you talk about anything.
Funny how? Like a clown?
No, I'm not. That's not like Goodfellas. Like you saying I'm funny. I'm not doing that. No,
Joe Pesci.
He's very entertaining.
Thank you very much, sir. So as we're closing out the basketball season, just how do you kind of look at what happened this past season and project what you think is going to happen in the future based on the limited sample size we got of Buckyball?
Well, I thought we had an outstanding year like most people did. I don't know anybody that can complain the year that the Aggies had. I mean, they exceeded expectation in almost every aspect. My biggest fear is that fans are going to think like they're going to be invincible once they have more time to recruit. The portal doesn't open this year until April 7th.
Right.
So it's a little bit different format. But I thought Bucky did an incredible job with the players and the personnel he had, building this staff. But David, ironically, sometimes what your first year is your easiest year because expectations are low. Everybody's new on the roster, so everybody's got, a lot of dreams that they're going to be the guy. And I thought he put together a great puzzle with all the pieces. And to me, that's what Buckyball thrives on. It's not so much, you got to have good players, good talent. But I think you can win Buckyball and get to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, maybe Final Four without having an NBA player because of his style. I think when you look at traditional teams, most of the time when you see a team make the Final Four, they're going to have 2 NBA draft picks, sometimes 3. So that's what I love about Buckyball. So to answer your question, I hope people just don't get so excited that they think, we were 11-7 in the league this year. We made the round of 32. We're going to go to the Elite 8 and win the league. It could be a less of a season as far as wins and losses, but still a tournament team, and then anything happens with matchups. That was a long answer, I know.
I like it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I might be one of those guys that Tom's worried about because I look at it and I say, hey, all the things that we all know, all the obstacles, all the problems that they had to overcome. I mean, he lost his top player from the portal, right?
Right.
And he only has Baco for 7 games. I'm so intrigued to see what roster he's going to be able to put together when he's not trying to play catch up and knows what money he has to spend and things like that. So my take is if he could accomplish what they accomplished last year, starting from behind and all the problems that they had, I'm thinking, this is going to be the launching pad for a string of successful seasons as long as he's here. Now, Tom might say, but how are you going to define successful season? That may change.
Right.
And you don't want to get into the saying, well, if you don't win a championship, it's not successful. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, probably kind of what you're getting at. And he was talking about that. I said, do you consider the University of Houston to have a successful basketball program? Well, everybody would say, well, of course they are. Never won a championship.
Right.
Well, they've won conference championships.
Never won a national championship.
Yes, correct.
So,
but I think you have to be a little bit lucky. Like last year, Florida winning it all. You guys remember all the games they had to be rescued by the kid that went to the pros, Walter Clayton. I mean, he made some miraculous shots in 2 or 3 of the games, and they're going home early. So you have to be a little bit lucky. But I don't think there's any Aggie fan. I know as an ex-coach, if my team made the tournament every year and you took your chances on how far you went, you're a success.
Yeah.
Particularly at Texas A&M, that the farthest any team has ever gone is Sweet 16. That's still a good accomplishment, don't get me wrong. But I think if you can get in the tournament every year, take your chances, then Bucky or whoever the head coach is doing a marvelous job.
Well, I think this is a good basketball program, right? I mean, the last few coaches have all had success. but can they take another step? That's the question.
Absolutely, and that goes back to, being injury-free. I think the one guy that can do it is Bucky because of his system. And I remember we talked first in June, David. I remember it vividly. And, I didn't know all his players, but I try to keep up with it pretty well. I talked to a lot of coaches. And the one thing I mentioned that I thought why he would be successful, he got all winners, guys that have won. And that is so important in today's culture because it's such a me culture in the portal and in basketball, and you can't blame them. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if I was a student athlete, I want to make some money nowadays, and because it's going to be short-lived. So I thought he did a tremendous job of bringing in guys that came out of winning programs, and they understood what they were getting into. You have to be a really selfless player to come to Texas A&M because your numbers are not going to be gaudy because your minutes are going to be minimized, but you are going to be part of success. And then you get to play the way most people like to play is up and down, and, showing their talents.
I didn't want to make it sound like I was saying that A&M won't be a successful program under Bucky unless they win a championship. I was actually saying the exact opposite. But if they do get into the tournament, like every year, I think expectations obviously change. I mean, there are places like you went to UNLV, right?
Yes, sir.
They expect it after a while.
Absolutely.
And that's for some programs, it's Final Four or nothing.
Right. I think Kentucky's a great example of that. Although I don't think Kentucky's had a really good run in a long time. They haven't. But they expect you to make the tournament, which you should. You're Kentucky. You have all the resources. You have ability to get the best players. So to me, they're more failing than anybody at A&M has the last 10 years. I love A&M's program. I'm outsider coming in, and I've seen the facilities. I've seen the fan support. I mean, technically, it's not a basketball school because football's so elite and so good. But if you took the football success away or the pressure that the football team has, it could be a basketball school. When you see Reed Arena packed and the fan support, it's a great environment. So I think the sky's the limit, but yet you got to get a great team. I mean, this would be an interesting question, and I'm going to ask you, David. Like, if they went 11-7 next year, or even 10-8 in the SEC, not knowing anything right now, do you think that would be a good season?
Yeah, but I would also. I have to go through the season to know, right? But like sitting here today, I'm like, I expect more because of what we got in year one. And I think that is natural. Like, what's the next step, right? Okay. But if I know Mbako's coming back and I know that they go find some size and some strength, because when you looked at Houston, physically it looked different. And I'm not just St. Mary's looked different too. But that was just tall. Yeah. Houston looked thick. Yeah. They looked muscular. They looked fast. And I don't think you have to look like Houston to have a more successful season. We got to get closer to that than what you were this year.
Sure. I don't think that happens in year two. I mean, look at how long Sampson's been in there. And no discredit to Bucky, but Sampson's been around a long time and has done it at a lot of different places.
And it took him, 4 years to get to the tournament at Houston?
Right. And then, he had the great run last year. I mean, they can win it all now that Florida got knocked out of that bracket. Anything can happen. But, I like the progress that A&M does in all their sports. You have to walk or crawl before you run.
But let me ask you this, Tom. Yes, you're exactly right, the way we used to look at it. But NIL has changed people's expectations and their timing. Social media plays a role, program pressure. So, like, how much, and I'm not talking Bucky specifically here, but how long are people willing to wait in today's era when there's going to be a coach somewhere that like, hey, look what Bucky did in year one. Complete transfer portal team. And you got to hit, right? You don't always hit when you get these guys. It has to fit culture-wise. That's why, it took Pop a little while to get going. And then when he got going, he was a really nice player for them, right? Yeah. So I don't know how long you're willing. It's more of a commentary than it is a question, how long you're willing to wait in this era.
Absolutely. I think generally, if you talk to people outside looking in on Texas A&M, they have the perception that A&M has everything they need to be successful. And I do believe that's true. I mean, I don't know the figures. I don't know if any of us do other than Bucky and his staff and a few other people. But I do think they have the ability to go get pretty much anybody they want. The question is, can they get them and then the right chemistry? And that goes back to Bucky. I believe he's going to find winners, whether they're highly rated, middle rated, but I think he's going to find the right pieces to be competitive every year and then take your chances once you get in the tourney.
You mentioned a second ago the facilities, right? So he played at UNLV in the day, glory days, and coached all over the place. I keep hearing the facilities being criticized here. So you tell me, how does A&M facilities for basketball stack up, and does it even matter?
Well, I don't think it matters. When you have a nice facility, having the best isn't really going to enhance your chances of winning than not having, maybe you're third and 10. The facilities are fine. I mean, any coach that blames facilities on losing at Texas A&M, they got the wrong reason.
I think there might have been a time when you came in as a high school recruit, you looked around and maybe this amazing gymnasium.
It's NIL now,
but
right?
NIL now is like, how much are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
Right. I think you got to find those fine lines, too, of those guys that they want to get paid. The word they're using now, and I've been calling some recruits, ironically, because I can. I'm not affiliated with any team, but they're talking market value. So I think you've got to get in the ballpark. I don't think every player and their family says, we're going for the most money. But I think when a young person has a chance to make, let's say, $100,000 and their next closest offer is $10,000, they're going to go for the $100,000. But when you're looking at, let's say $1 million compared to $800,000, if that million place is going to be a better fit for you, particularly if you might be the face of the program, you might have, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, more opportunities. I think that's a wiser decision to take less money, and in the long run, you'll make it up not only in the NIL, but you'll make it up maybe in professional sports.
Let's hit a break here. We'll come back with a really short segment on the other side. Some coaching changes. I want to ask you about what we could see. Right now, Rollo insurance decisions should be taken very seriously by your agent, right? You want somebody who knows your situation. That's what Rollo does. They're going to know you, your family situation, and make sure that you are covered in every aspect of life. If we're talking about car insurance, homeowner insurance, ranch insurance, start a relationship with an expert who puts you first and understands everything that your family is battling through. They want to take great care of you, and many of their clients discover better protection at competitive rates because they have the right person taking care of them. And that's what you get at Rollo Insurance with 60-plus offices in the great state of Texas. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. All right, dominoes. Let's play a little game of dominoes, right? Tom Schuberth in studio. So, looks like Hubert Davis out at North Carolina. Bill Self considering retirement. What was the other one?
Mark Pope.
Mark Pope in Kentucky.
Continuous.
Yeah. So there could be some major changes in college football. Does Nate Oates go somewhere else? Does he go to the NBA? Does he go somewhere else? Does he just keep doing what he's doing there? How do you think these dominoes could play out? And don't scare me.
Well, we talked during the timeout. We mentioned Bucky's name. I mean, you have to look at him as a candidate at any job, particularly the high major jobs where it's not only winning basketball, but it's entertainment as well. And he has a product that's that way. I mean, I don't think Bucky would go anywhere because I think he loves it here and he's had the resources to do the job he's doing. But I think he's the type of guy. I compare him a little bit to Brad Stevens, who some of the younger people may not know, but he was a phenomenal college basketball coach.
Pretty darn good GM, too.
Yeah, that's my point. I mean, he's going to win no matter what he does. If he's playing tiddlywinks or
he's good.
Building an NBA franchise, he's going to be as successful. And that's how I kind of see Bucky. He's just got that charisma about him. And so, but sometimes you find that person and they just don't get over the hump. And you see that in many coaches. You guys are killing Houston that they haven't won a national championship. I don't know if they ever will. They probably won't. But I think I would take that kind of consistent success at Texas A&M.
Yeah, that was not killing Houston.
No, I didn't mean that way, OB. But you know what I'm getting at.
Right.
It's hard to win the whole shebang. You know, sometimes you got to be lucky, but you got to be good. But you got to have that luck.
Look, I would love for A&M to be in the Houston position, right?
Sure.
But I'm just looking for the next tier. And what is the next tier, right? Like
to do something they haven't done before, which would be Elite 8.
Consistently, get there and consistently be a second weekend team, right? And by consistent, I don't know if that means every single year or 2 out of 5 years, 2 out of 3 years, whatever, right? Like be a consistent second weekend team.
Would you say that's like Alabama is now in basketball? I mean,
but they also have a Final Four run too.
I know. Yeah. I'm saying if we could ever get to the point of what Alabama's doing the last 8 or 10 years, I would take that.
I would take that in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
That's like they're consistent, proven winner year in and year out. And heck, they may make a run this year. You never know.
I hope not. All right, Tom, appreciate you, buddy. It was fun.
You, guys.
I'm sure we'll do it when we get some roster changes. We'll bring you on. All right, man.
Can't wait. Thank you, fellas.
And how long's your recovery going to be?
I got 3 more weeks in the sling.
And then we're going to go boxing and swimming.
I hope
and all
so.
That, right?
I'm going to follow in your footsteps.
All right, we'll do it. When we'll hit a break, we'll come back. John Harris next on TexAgs Live. All right, we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program. Let's talk to my dear friend, John Harris, Houston Texans sideline reporter and the founder of FootballTakeover.com. Johnny, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm good, man. Wanted to start things off. We got A&M Pro Day coming up here today. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on how Pro Day / Combine has kind of changed, the metamorphosis in the last few years of what they've become and what they used to be. Just kind of take me through, because, I mean, if I remember correctly, you and I, we went to the Manziel Pro Day here at A&M and how things have kind of changed around that era into where we are now.
Well, I think the hardest thing to do is compare anything to Johnny's Pro Day, because that was, in the words and the minds of many, many NFL people, that was a circus. I don't know if media people thought that when they were there. I mean, that was an incredible day. I don't know that anything will ever compare to that, to be honest. I mean, Johnny was such a polarizing figure, and obviously he meant so much to Texas A&M, and so it was kind of like an A&M send-off, kind of trying to show it off. I remember a Houston Texans head coach who was not very happy that he had to be there for that Pro Day. I could promise you that. But what's interesting about Pro Day, interesting about the Combine, is it is very cyclical. There are times when Pro Days, absolutely, no doubt, they matter. And it's for some reason, the players understand that, and they're going to show it off at those Pro Days. And here we go. There's sometimes when the Combine, for a lot of people, that's the most important thing. And you get everybody testing. Nobody is backing off. Everybody's running. Everybody's competing. And then you have years like this year where it's kind of all over the map. There were some guys that, I think there was probably about 6 or 7 guys that went to the Combine, they did everything. That's it. Out of 300, roughly, guys that were invited to the Combine, 7 of them did every single test. So I don't know that prospects are looking at the Combine and the Pro Day as kind of the end-all, be-all that maybe it used to be. I think some understand, hey, this is a last shot. I think if guys are top 10 picks, top 15 picks, I think they're more apt to say, look, I'm going to dictate what I'm going to do. Fernando Mendoza, it's going to go number 1. Everybody knows it. Whether you want to argue about the, Ty Simpson thing and Dan Orlovsky and whatever, Fernando Mendoza is going number 1. Why should he test? There's no reason to. He can get hurt. You can set him back. There's no reason to test. Top 5 pick, Jeremiah Love. Why would he test? Other than the fact that he can compete. Now, beyond those guys, there are probably some that want to compete. Sonny Styles, Ohio State, going to be a top 15 pick. He goes to the Combine. He tests through the roof. All of a sudden, he's a top 5 pick everywhere you look. So I think there is this kind of cat-mouse game with it. Guys that don't test very well are kind of, well, I'll do the broad jump and the vertical jump, but I'm not going to do these other tests. It just kind of goes in cycles. And I do think that there are guys that know they're not great testers, and they try and kind of work the system, if you will, to not test. I'm rehabbing an ankle. It's a really kind of cat and mouse game, to be honest with you. But I think good scouts and good prospects can make a Pro Day really, really good and effective. But there are some that try to game the system, and scouts can read right through that. They've been doing this for decades. They know what they're looking for. They know what to expect. They've watched these guys on film numerous times. They've seen them in practice numerous times. They know if a guy's fast. They know if a guy's quick. They know if a guy's got long arms. They know these things. So Pro Day becomes a confirmation for most. And yet there are still some times. I remember I went to University of Houston Pro Day, and Ed Oliver, who was not the biggest guy in the world, not the tallest guy in the world, and they called his name up to do height weight, and he just walked right by all the scouts, right by the measurement station, and went right to the bench press. It was like, nope, you're not going to measure me anymore. I'm done. You know I'm 6 foot. Leave it at 6 foot. And he's probably 5'11", but he just said, nope, not doing it. So it's all up to the players. It's all up to the prospects. And you can help your case. I don't know if you can hurt your case, but you can bring up some questions in NFL draft rooms based on some of the things you don't do at a pro day. I mean, you're almost better off running your 4.7 at a pro day than you are having people guess what your time is. But it just goes in cycles, David. It's importance. And I feel like it's not at its highest level of importance the last couple of years like it has been probably years before that.
Talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Johnny, I also look at, he's on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Johnny, I also look at it as as a touch point, right? Like in sales, you try to get as many touch points as possible. As a scout, coach, GM, you want as many opportunities around these guys in a sports setting and also in a conversation setting as much as possible. And I think also when you're the right type of player, you're looking for that as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Especially if, you're a day 3 guy or undrafted free agent, you want as much time with those pro people as possible. Absolutely. Now, if you're, and this is where it gets dicey. If you're projected, second, third round by the media, you might not be thought that way by the NFL people. NFL people might say, well, that dude's a definite day 3 guy. You better not act like you're a day 1 guy. That's for damn sure. So there can be some of that, but if you're a day 3 guy or projected that way, man, you want to do everything because they're paying attention. Scouts are paying attention. They're always looking for something different, something new. Hey, what can I take back? Hey, what'd you learn at A&M Pro Day? Well, hey, they've got this 12th man fullback guy, Gillespie, and he just ran high 4.4s. I think we need to take a look at this guy. And lo and behold, he gets drafted in the 7th round by the Houston Texans. And I would imagine he was probably on their radar screen. But when at Pro Day, when Colin Gillespie ran in the 4.4 range or 4.5 range, that really solidified, hey, wait a second. We need to discuss this guy a little bit more in our draft room. And Brian Gaine, the GM at the time, was like, no, I want that dude. And lo and behold, there you go. There are prospects that absolutely, without question, they want to talk to the scout, the position coach, the head coach, GM. They want to sell what they've got, who they are. And then there are some that just think, I'm good. I've been a great player my entire life. I'm going to go to the NFL and be a great player. And that is probably the worst thing they could think of. And I can think of a number of players that have come into our building that have been high draft picks that have felt that way about themselves and didn't do everything that they were supposed to do as professionals, and they're out of the NFL in 2-3 years. I mean, I know of a safety that was drafted in the 2nd round one year, didn't go to a special teams meeting, told the head coach, yeah, I don't do special teams. He was a Texan for a year and a half, gone. And so you have to have an understanding of what your place is, where you are, and then go through the process. Look, like I said, if you're Fernando Mendoza, if you're Myles Garrett, you don't have to do everything. Why do you have to do everything? If people didn't know Myles Garrett was a freakazoid, then they're stupid. But there are some guys where you're like, God, I don't know how fast this guy is. The things that A&M, for instance, does maybe don't allow him to show how quick he is or how fast he is with routes or how they cover things in the secondary. Pro Day's a good opportunity to see some of those things. But the prospect has to be willing to be able to go through the process. Unlike a guy like Shedeur Sanders who looked at the process as, you're recruiting me. It's like, no. No, this is a draft. You need to recruit us. We need to feel good about you because we are selecting you. Make us feel good about you. And if not, you end up being a 5th-round pick when you should have been a 2nd-round pick. But there are some guys that can make it. I think of Titus Howard. Titus Howard is probably going to be a 2nd-round pick. But in his interview with Mike Devlin and Bill O'Brien with the Houston Texans, Titus blew them away with just his knowledge of football, just his demeanor, the way he thought about football. He ends up being the 1st-round pick of the Texans. So there's ways that you can use the process to your advantage if you're willing and able as well.
Talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. So, Johnny, people put together mock drafts. I know you have yours. You have friends in the industry that do it. Can you kind of take us through what that's like? Because I'm assuming as it evolves, right, some of it is based on what you think team needs are. Some of it is based on conversations you're having with scouts, coaches, and just people in the league. Can you kind of take me through the process of coming up with your mock draft and how it evolves?
Yeah, it's a kind of it's fun, but it's kind of nerve-wracking too. I'll tell you the one thing I don't do, David, and there's a reason for this. Because I am employed by an NFL team, I make sure that I talk to as few NFL people as possible. Now, I keep my ears open, but I try not to, because I don't want to write something and all of a sudden our scouting staff is like, hey, I told John that. It's like, I don't want that. There's already that implication, but I make that known like right away. A lot of the really good, Dan Jeremiah, Dane Brugler, Lance Zierlein, those are the three guys that when it comes to a mock draft, I will trust. I mean, they're friends of mine. They know the game. They've been around it. They bust ass. They watch film. They do the job right. They talk to people all the time. They're not affiliated with NFL teams. They got to be as accurate as possible with their mock draft. The way I go about it is I look at a few things. Obviously, team need. Okay, look at the needs. Where are the contract situations that you need to be aware of? And what's the value of players in the draft? And then where those three lines sort of intersect.
Did we lose Johnny? Johnny, you there? Looks like we lost John Harris. So we get him back here in a moment. We'll finish up our conversation because he was going down a great path on how he puts together his mock draft. The other thing I want to ask him about is the Le'Veon question. I certainly want to talk to him about, how teams perceive injuries and how, based on the scenario, does it change, right? Like, yes, Le'Veon's gotten hurt the last couple of years, cost him his season, right? I know he played at the very end, but it cost him his season. Does that mean he's injury prone because he had 2 straight years where his season did not finish? Or does that mean that, they look at how his injuries happened and, okay, this was a, freak incident here. This is another freak incident because, one of them was the way he fell and got, when the knee one was certainly not his fault. And then the South Carolina one was the way he got hit on the sideline. So I'm just curious what Johnny will say about that. Nick, did you say something? I'm sorry. Johnny, you there?
I am here.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, David. Technology.
All good. Hey, so I'm going to move on because I wanted to ask you. I want to make sure I ask about Le'Veon. I just talked about it. So I read something from PFF about how he could be a sleeper, but questions are going to be out there about, is he injury prone because he got hurt the last couple of years? And then my question for you is, does the type of injury and how they happen, does that play a role in when players get that label? Or no, you're injured, you missed time, this is who you are?
I think any injury kind of spooks NFL team, if I'm being honest, David. They're like, okay, yes, they look at the nature of the injury, and they're very quick to look at soft tissue stuff. And okay, this guy's not, preparing himself right. We like him, but because he has these issues, maybe we like him a little bit later on day 2 or day 3, et cetera. I absolutely think the medical part, and I've had our medical team. I had a member of the medical team. This was probably about 10 years ago. He came up to me. He was like, you draft experts. You go through your mock drafts. You do all this, and it's like the most important thing you have no clue about. And he used the example of a player who got hurt. I think it was at the Rose Bowl, actually. He got hurt at the Rose Bowl. He's a really good corner for a Pac-12 school at the time. And nobody really knew the extent of his injury. And it was bad. And he told me that. And I was just like, whoa. Now, I don't go seeking that information out. But the medical team is the most important team other than the scouts in the room. They go through these injuries extensively. Now, they also look at how they happened. And then there's invariably somebody in the room that says, hey, Frank Gore tore his ACL 3 times from his senior year before he was drafted out of Miami. And the dude lasted till he was 40 as a running back. So it's tough because there are guys that I remember Miles Jack. Oh, he's got an arthritic knee. He can only play 5 years. And Miles Jack ended up playing like 7, 8 years. It was really good for the Jags. So I think everyone is kind of on a case-by-case basis. I think it's easy to look at Le'Veon from outsider looking in and go, yeah, he's had those 2 key injuries, because you don't really know exactly how NFL teams will perceive that. There will be some that say, nah, he should be able to handle those hits. He should be able to take it. He's off the board. He's too injury prone for us. There might be other teams that look at each injury and go, you know what? It's kind of freaky. Maybe he doesn't get hit like this. Maybe our strength department is able to do X, Y, and Z with him, so these things won't happen. Maybe our medical team looks at it and says, not as bad as it possibly could have been. But injuries are that one mystery for everybody. David, I think the other side of it are the guys that played through stuff. Alabama guys were notorious for a long time under a certain coach. They would walk into an NFL building for a 30 visit, and it's like they got 8 things wrong with them. But they would play through them at Alabama because there was sort of an expectation to play through them at Alabama. I think Le'Veon was probably going to end up being, probably an early day 3 guy. I think he's going to probably be an early day 3 guy. I don't know that the injuries are going to play a massive role unless there have been some people that have seen a drop-off in him athletically from before the injury to after the injury. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but I do think he's going to have to work out for teams and show that he's still got the burst, he's still got the wiggle, he's still got that explosiveness. And I think if teams get comfortable with that, then I think he's going to be right where he should have been all along, if I'm being honest.
Johnny, last thing for you. What does it say that all the NFL teams will be here at today's Pro Day? Just the fact that, I mean, I don't think that happens all the time. I mean, last year, I don't remember what the number was, but I mean, that's not normal, right? For every team to be, I mean, I guess with as many NFL prospects as A&M has, it's probably normal, but I still think that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's relatively normal, David. You have anywhere from, I would say, 28 to 32 scouts that are going to be on hand, or teams present for every pro day. It's just, that's what's expected of, especially in A&M. Now, if we're talking, even I went to Sam Houston State's pro day a number of years ago because I wanted to see the twins, Zion McCollum, Tristan McCollum. All 32 teams were there at that pro day. Now, not all 32 teams are going to be at pro day at Sam Houston or at Washita Baptist or wherever, but they're going to be at A&M. They're going to be at least 30 to 32. And I would imagine of the 2 that wouldn't show up, they probably got a conflict with another pro day, or they got to work somebody out, and that scout just can't make it for that particular time frame. I think the biggest key to look for, David, at a pro day is the big decision makers. How many head coaches are there? How many GMs are there? How many position coaches are there? I've talked to scouts about this over the years. The scouts showing up, that's expected. And so they represent the team. So, hey, 32 teams are represented. The other day at Miami's pro day, they had head coaches, GMs, and position coaches out the wazoo. And my guess is at A&M Pro Day, you're going to see a number of defensive line position coaches. You're probably going to see some offensive line position coaches, because when the coaches are there, they get to run the drills. When they're not, the scouts run them. It's fine. But when the position coaches are there, there's something specific they're looking for. So to me, that's more of what to look at. Yeah, 32 teams are going to be there. It's awesome. That's pretty normal. But the number of position coaches, even coordinators, head coaches, GMs, keep an eye on that today. How many of those people are at and in College Station for this week?
Johnny, great stuff, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. Love you, bro. See you.
See you, bro. Love you, man. That's my guy, John Harris. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. A little track and field on the other side. Talk javelin, shall we? That's coming up next on TexAgs. Right now, if you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what really sets them apart is the 9 CFPs, the CFA, the CPA, all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel very good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for our weekly conversation with the A&M track and field team. Coach Henry sent a bunch of his crew over here. And by the way, they had a great event at the UTSA Invitational. And with us to talk about that and the rest of the season, we've got the javelin throws coach, Coach Amin Nikfar. We've got Caitlin Fairchild, Sam Hankins, and Jayla Hooper. What's up, team? How's everybody?
Good.
How you doing?
All right, so I guess first off, Coach, if I can start off with you, just talk about this past weekend and what it felt like.
This last weekend was our outdoor opener for the whole track team, and it was very encouraging, right? It was very encouraging to see some people get out there and compete, and a couple people. I mean, this crew right here hadn't competed in a little while, and they battled some injuries over the years, and looks like we're back with pretty full strength. So,
what's it like for you three during the indoor year, knowing you got to wait? Like that's like you're fine tuning, but there's nothing like competition, right? Caitlin, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, I think there's good and bad to it. Like good, you feel like you have more time to prepare for your event, but the bad is just kind of sitting around and waiting and feeling a bit antsy. But it's cool that we get to watch the whole entire indoor season and support our teammates, but definitely ready whenever outdoor rolls around.
Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest part of indoor is watching your teammates compete. It keeps you hungry. You only get one season, they get two, so you definitely get a little antsy to get back, but you're definitely excited to watch them succeed and do as good as they do every year. So.
Jayla?
Also, backdooring off of their answer, it is NC. I was fortunate to have my indoor season this year. I just didn't have another indoor season, but it was fun watching this year and just sitting back to be able to cheer on and be behind the scenes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask everybody how you ended up at A&M, but I'm going to start off with you, Coach. Just you had a nice run at North Carolina, and now you're at A&M. How'd you end up here?
I think the short version is when the greatest track coach of all time calls you, you answer and you say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the super short version.
And that's probably going to be the answer for everybody. So we'll go in reverse order now. Jayla, how did you end up at A&M?
I was fortunate enough to have Coach Amin reach out to me. I was at Oregon State, and I got injured, and NCAA gave me my year back, and grateful enough, I had an extra year. So I came here, and I wanted to be closer to home.
Okay, where's home?
Tatum, Texas.
Where's Tatum, Texas?
Ooh. You know where Longview is?
Yeah, I know Longview.
Yeah, about like 20 minutes down the road. Little country town.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sam?
So my story is a little bit different. I grew up in Manhattan, Kansas. One year they were hosting the Big 12 championships there. My parents pulled me out of school so I'd go watch. I remember watching A&M compete, and they did amazing. So it was always on my radar when I was a kid growing up. Out of high school, I was fortunate enough to do well enough to, kind of get recruited and start talking to coaches here, and I jumped at that opportunity right away. So I was very excited to come here.
Caitlin?
I'm also from Kansas, not Manhattan, but I'm from Andale. I was recruited during COVID, so it was kind of difficult. I didn't get to go on any visits or really see anything. But luckily enough, I had came to A&M for my junior day. So when I was a junior in high school, and I just got to see it and kind of talk to everybody. So then being recruited during COVID was kind of just a mess. Everything was online. Chico was calling me, and I just kind of blind committed to it, honestly.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have rather ended up anywhere else.
Am I right? Your sister's on the
Yes.
team too?
Yep, she's 2 years younger than me.
Okay, and you both podium finished this past weekend. Am I right about
Yes,
that?
first and second, yeah.
How was that?
It's awesome. I mean, we've competed against each other all of our lives in every sport that we've done. So getting to do it in college is probably something that not a lot of people get to say.
Yeah.
We push each other a lot, and so it's good to have her there.
Coach, if you can, just maybe tell us a little bit about the strengths of this crew right here.
I think the biggest one for them is just resilience, right? Like, whether things are going, good, okay, or not so good or whatever on the track, like they're resilient. They stay pretty dialed in with the things they're trying to accomplish on the runway and in the circle, and receptive to coaching during competitions, and just really, really good competitors.
So when I talk to Coach Henry, I talk to him almost every week during the season, and even in the off season. There's nobody I've ever met more passionate about this sport and obviously the pursuit of excellence. What's it like having him in the building, talking to you guys daily, and just his resume? And you just saw what he just did a couple months ago, what you all just did a couple months ago. Caitlin, if you want to start us off.
I think we could start off by every week our team meetings. He's kind of just really hammering the same concepts, like don't let the day get away and be Texas A&M. Just having him there and being able to go talk to him anytime you want is kind of just crazy to think about. Like you don't actually think about who you're talking to, but he's really supportive. I think he really does a great job caring for everybody else and making sure like everybody's in line and doing what they're supposed to do. And he really harps on like everybody, you know, having a good day on the same day. So it's cool having him around and having him as our coach.
Sam?
Yeah, much the same stuff. He's a super consistent guy. He's, always going to tell you the same things over and over. He knows what it takes to be successful. And I mean, with 30-plus national championships under his belt, it's pretty obvious that his stuff works. So,
Jayla, how much of his reputation did you know from afar?
Not that much.
Yeah.
But
You learn quickly.
Yeah, you do learn quickly. I'm grateful to be able to come into a situation like this where you have a head coach that is very much involved and like they know you. He takes the time to like come watch us and just learn our event. And he wants us to be very intentional. So just having that championship mindset and having everybody else feed off of it is really good to have it from a coach and like the coaches around also. So yeah.
Coach Amin, to close us out, what is it? The Raleigh Invitational next? What's coming up here soon?
We've got some distance runners going to the Raleigh relays. They should be departing here in an hour or two, and then the following week, a bunch of the team we're going to go to LSU and compete.
Okay. Yeah. It's been fun to get to know you guys. Thank you so much for coming to the studio. Let's do it again, all right?
Thanks. Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, we're going to hit a break. When we come back, Trisha Ford, talk a little Aggie softball. They scored, what, was it 18 runs yesterday? Yeah, 18 runs. We'll talk about that and, of course, the weekend sweep over Kentucky. That and more. You're listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. A little softball time. Let's see. The Aggie softball team destroyed Kentucky over the weekend. I can say destroyed because Coach Ford's not in here right now.
Yeah.
And they pummeled.
A lot of big
Yeah,
words
I'm using all
she's
the words
making you
here.
use.
Yeah. There was a pummeling last night. But now a real test is coming.
For sure.
We're going to treat it like normal. Kay Nagley's in studio as we wait for Coach Ford to join us here. She'll join us here momentarily. She's here? All right, awesome.
Beautiful.
So we'll talk to her in a minute. I don't know if I should talk behind her back. Oh, there she is.
You're here.
I'm here. I know. Spring break. What else did I miss? I missed NCAA tournament, NFL Combine.
I was getting a little butthurt
Yeah.
that you didn't love me anymore.
Well, but I mean, Kay's so good.
She is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We had good time. Don't worry.
Yeah, back in the day, I would have been like, just put me on Zoom. I'll do it. But like with Kay, it's like she can handle all of it. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Miss you.
I know. I do. I miss your face.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I need to shave, I know, but let's talk about the last week. Not bad. I really like what happened against Kentucky.
Yeah.
Really like what I saw last night.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Kentucky came in, and anytime you can get W's in our conference, it's a good day. So I think Sunday was hard, but I was happy that we figured it out and came back. And Sarah, their ace pitcher, they saved her for Sunday. So it took a little bit more, but we figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was good.
One of the things I really like, y'all passed the bat so well this weekend. It just felt like everywhere that one batter left off, the other picked up, especially, and y'all kind of did go through a little adversity here and there, even in that Friday game when they hit a big home run. Just what did you like about being able to battle through adversity and then ultimately just seal the wins?
Yeah, I think Kelsey Mathis, is the name from this weekend. Every ball she hit was hard.
Mm-hmm.
She kept kind of that middle to lower half of our lineup going. I mean, she was a nemesis this weekend. So I think that was huge. KK found ways to get on base. Paisley Allen had, some good at-bats. But I think Kelsey was really kind of that piece that bridged the top half of the lineup to the bottom half of the lineup. So I think she was huge for us.
I'm just going to say her name, and I'll let you take it from there. Okay. Maya's been, I'll just say Maya.
Yeah. So they started off not pitching to her.
Yeah.
Then they pitched her for a couple, and she got a little antsy.
Yeah.
And then she went back to being Maya. Yeah. So, and last night for sure, she was back to Maya. My whole thing is let's take it in and watch her. Like, you're watching greatness, one of the best hitters in our game, and she's an Aggie. So just enjoy it.
Let me follow that up because I think something you said there, like the athlete, the competitor, the antsiness. It's natural.
Absolutely.
But how do you kind of get them? Just breathe. You know who you are. It's coming. Just take your time.
Yeah. And sometimes we forget she's 20 years old.
Right.
And so she really wants to help. She loves Texas A&M. She loves the 12th man. She wants to do well. And so I think it's human nature. Like, you're going to, want to get a hit. And she came up in some big spots, and for her to kind of take her walks when she needs to is big. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've always spoke about that 9-hole hitter being so important to you, and going back to Kelsey just being in that spot. Just how do you think that's kind of propelled the lineup into? I mean, y'all hit like 400 this past weekend.
Yeah, I'll take that any day. The pitching coach will always take that. I think Frankie just did a great job as well. So you had Kelsey. And then you had Frankie, and Frankie had a couple of, especially on Sunday, had some tougher at-bats early on, and then came through big time for us at the end. So, I think for me, it's just that the 9-hole is kind of that annoying gnat, is what I like to say, is like they're always around. And the thing that I like about Frankie and kind of what her tool set is she can bunt, she can slap, and she can hit away. So there's a lot of different ways that she can turn our lineup around, which I think is huge. Yeah.
I saw this note in Tyler's notes. Talon Edwards, 200th career start, eclipsed 100 RBIs in her career. She's finding her footing here in College Station, is she not?
Yeah, she, and I was really happy because the LSU series didn't go the way she wanted it to go, and you could just see her put in more work, and I'm very happy to see her kind of back to her normal self this past weekend, and just being home is nice too. I feel like we haven't been at home very much, and so I think, she's fit in well. Her and Coach Harger have a great relationship, and you can really see her taking off. Yeah.
I had Sydney Lesentine in here for a Texas Aggies United interview yesterday, and we were talking a little bit about her not using analytics as much, which I thought for an ace was kind of a little bit unheard of.
Yeah.
Just kind of talked to me. She was like, Coach Ford tries to walk me through all the things, but at the end of the day, I just throw the ball.
Yeah. And you have to know as a coach kind of what they are. But the thing that I love about Sid is nothing phases her. And she really is, like, she trusted me that I have done all that studying and I know what we're doing and why we're doing it. And, you know, we talk about tunneling, though. Like, there's some things that she doesn't think is analytics, but she understands. I'm watching her right now. But I think, you know, being able to tunnel and feed off of that pitch before. And so she doesn't really want to get into the analytics piece of it, but she does want to get into, okay, if I throw my pitch here, if I miss it, then I got to build on it from here. If I don't miss it and I execute that pitch, then we're going to go this way because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So she is actually somebody, though, that really can take in a lot of information. She just doesn't want to know the numbers. She's like, I'm not a numbers girl. So I get it.
So how do you balance that, though? The analytics, the eyeball, like just the rhythm you see him at practice. Like, how do you kind of balance it all? And what's your formula for that?
Yeah, I think they'll probably tell you I throw too much at them, and then we kind of find our medium ground. But for me, I want them to understand why we're doing it and kind of the plan so that they can free up. And so my whole, thought process is I'm going to give you some information, probably not a lot, but in my head, but in their world, a lot. But I want them to free up. I want them to have the answers to the test. So, like, if my ball is doing X, I know that I'm doing this and how to fix it. Because in game, we're not in a bullpen. I'm not with them. And so they have to understand why they're executing a pitch or why they're not, and then how to build on that.
AK, ever since moving back to her natural position in catcher, has just seemed really comfortable. Even at the plate, she's hitting 428 since she moved back there. Just how nice has that just been to see her find her stride?
Yeah, she's been, just electric. I always say, it's one of my favorites. We don't have favorites, but we have favorites because they work hard, what they put into the game. She's got such a great personality and just somebody you enjoy to coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. And everybody from the team, from top to bottom, it doesn't matter what kind of personality, really respects AK. She spent a whole year just training, and she did extra work every single day while she was just training. Like, they don't make them like that, you know? And so everybody is just excited to see her be successful because of the work she's put in. They know that she has given everything to Texas A&M softball.
The schedule has given you some calluses this season as a team, right? Like, and you're going to be better through it.
Yeah.
But how hard is it when you're in the middle of, I'm using another metaphor, the storm, and knowing that something good is coming out of this?
Yeah, and there's definitely times where you're like, man, are we going to figure this out? But we talked about it before the season. I thought we were going to be a team, no matter what, that kind of matured as the season went on, and then we threw a really, really tough, and especially on the road, schedule at them. And we had some good and we had a little bit too much bad, you know? And so we just kept working, though, as a team, and we could feel it like, hey, we didn't execute. Like, what does that game look like if we execute? And so that part I've been really happy with, of us being able to pull from those experiences and really apply them. Like Sunday against Kentucky, they punched us first, right? And we punched back, but then we came up with a big inning, and even in the 7th inning, we had to, close that game out. So I think for us, like, we don't panic because we've been in it all. Yeah, we've faced every big arm. I mean, I feel like
you've done it.
Yeah, like, let's get after it.
You've been down this road before.
Yes, absolutely. So to me, there's confidence in that.
Yeah.
We're kind of burying the lead here, but heading to number one Texas this weekend. Mike White's just done a phenomenal job with that program. Just kind of talk about the history with facing. Of course, it's a rivalry, but y'all have had some big
doozies,
games over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. Anytime we can go out and compete, gets a little chippy, like that's like, sign me up, you know? There's a rivalry here. I love it. I think, we're going to go out and compete. I think that's the biggest thing. I think the Aggies will always go and compete in any game, and especially in that one. So we took the team there this fall so they could kind of get a feel for that environment because we have so many new faces. Our Okie State girls, they know, like, there was a rivalry between Okie State and Big 12. So I feel good. I mean, really at this point in time, we're just going to go out and play softball, and I like it. It's gone back and forth over the years. The first couple of years they got us. Last year we got them, and so we'll see what this year looks like. Yeah.
From a coaching mindset standpoint, how do you make the moment not too big? for the program?
Yeah, I think we're very process oriented. So that's really what our, what this week looks like. Obviously we'll just have today and then kind of a half practice on Thursday, but today it's really talking about like what we need to execute in the bullpen, the sequencing and why, where we can and can't miss, those types of things. Defensively, they have some speed, they have some power, so we might do some shifts and just kind of going through that process of what we're doing and how we think that we're going to be able to, go out there and get some games.
Are you process driven in real life, like outside of work?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and does it feel weird, like if your schedule is like a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I don't do well with change.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Same.
One and the same over there.
Yeah. And I write it all out.
Right.
I still handwrite.
I love handwriting, even though I can't rewrite it right.
Yeah. Have you gotten the, what is it called? Remarkable? You need to look into it.
What is this remarkable thing?
I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Y'all faced so many top arms this year, and you kind of look back now and you faced so many top offenses too. Just how nice is it to have that experience in the back pocket, knowing what's to come throughout SEC play?
Exactly. I mean, you nailed it. It's, we've been there, we've played, really good offenses, we've played really good arms, and we've scored in all of those games. And so it's not a matter of whether or not we're going to score, it's whether or not we can play good defense and if we can go out there and compete in the circle. And we have the arms to do it, and they know that. And so for me, this is why this series is really exciting for me. Yeah.
Obviously, coming off the heels of these last few days, things are good. But how do you feel overall about the direction?
Yeah, I think we're good. We're finding our rhythm. We still have some bumps throughout the game, but we're figuring out how to work through the bumps. And something that we've really I've talked to the pitchers quite a bit about is, you're going to have bumps, you're going to get punched, but can you withstand the punch and then can you punch back? And I feel like that's what we're doing a much better job. In this game, think about how offensive this game has really been this year. Mm-hmm. It's been crazy. Mm-hmm. So can you withstand it? Can you stop it? The team that can stop it the soonest and then reflip that momentum is the team that's going to win.
Okay, any closing thoughts?
How nice is it to have a healthy Sidney Peters out there?
Oh my gosh, yes, yeah. I mean, I'll take it. All day and twice on Sunday. Yeah. She's been fun. So she's been pretty electric, and you can see really what we were missing last year. Yeah.
Trisha, you're the best. Yeah. I hated that I was gone for the last few years. I'm here. All right. No vacations.
Yeah,
all right.
No more.
Just work.
Yeah.
Work right here in the studio. All right. We'll hit a break. Thank you to Trisha Ford and Kay Nagley. When we come back, we'll do a short segment before the 10 o'clock hour. It's TexAgs Live. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Roller Insurance Studio. I'm seriously so blessed to do what I get to do. I love talking to Trisha Ford. I love talking to everybody who comes in the studio. So it's always fun to catch up with Coach Ford. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Mrs. Softball, Kayla Gaither, what do you have for us?
Well, I was going to talk about what's on TexAgs today, but we can do that later if you want to talk about something else.
Let's do that now.
Okay, let's do it now. So, before we talk about what's on TexAgs today, it's always a good time to become a TexAgs Premium subscriber because we have so much content coming from Pro Day today, where all 32 NFL teams are sending scouts to watch Aggies on Pro Day. So, if you haven't already, it's a wonderful time to become a TexAgs Premium subscriber. On TexAgs today, we have a recap of last night's baseball win over HCU by Richard Zane. We have Luke's article grading Bucky McMillan's first year as Aggie men's basketball coach. We have OB's Ashton Bethel-Roman profile, sponsored by the Angry Elephant. And we have an NIL interview with Anto Saka, sponsored by 12th Man Foundation. And then later today, we are going to have so much Pro Day content. We're talking social, sights and sounds, all of it. It's going to be on the site. And we will have Cohen Eccles and Blake Ivy for interviews later today.
Yeah, get your premium subscription now because the content's been really good. It'll continue to be good. What else do you have for us? Do you have any text or any commentary? I think today's kind of been quiet.
There was a comment earlier on YouTube. I think you saw it, but it was talking about the facilities and kind of just saying how A&M is a program that is competing with Texas and Texas Tech with facilities and programs, and just asking, how A&M is doing compared to Texas and Texas Tech and other Texas schools.
From a facility standpoint?
Facility and just Big Five program standpoint in basketball, football.
Well, the guy who wrote that, I believe, was trolling. He had just made his account.
Okay.
So I didn't give it any substance because of that. But look, A&M has the national championship in the last year. Those other programs do as well. A&M in football lost to Texas, but went far in the playoffs. Texas Tech did not win a college football playoff game.
Right.
They got the 4 seed, but I think A&M could have easily been the 4 seed had they lost that Texas game earlier in the year. Just the timing of it. Look, we know that we have to beat those teams on the field and on the court, right? We don't really play Texas Tech in football anymore, but we have had some basketball games with them, some early season games, scrimmages, if you will. But there's a commitment to excellence at Texas Tech that you cannot deny. Mm-hmm. There's a commitment to excellence at Texas, right? There is. And they've been really good at all schools. I love what Trev has been doing. He's got Bucky. He has Jamie Morrison, a national championship head coach as well. He's got Trisha Ford. Baseball last year, softball lost obviously super early, and it shouldn't have happened. But they were, the 1 seed. Mm-hmm. And they did beat Texas, right? Mm-hmm. So I want us to be better. They want to be better. We've got the resources, and we're trending in that direction. All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back. Jason Howell. We're going to recruit with Jason next. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. We go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Jason Howell joining us. Jason, I'm going to start this off with something very sweet, okay?
All right.
All right. I don't know if this is, I don't know if there was a joke behind this, but I was just told by the people in the back, tell Jason Howell we love him. I walked by, that's what they said, so so I don't know if you upset somebody or somebody upset you, but they want you to know that they love you.
Hey, I always feel the love. It's from College Station to Highland Village, Texas. I feel it on the daily basis, but it's always good to hear it too.
So you're kicking butt in March Madness, I hear.
I didn't have much confidence going in. I don't follow college basketball as well as I used to. But I'm doing all right. I think I'm number 2 or tied for number 2 or something like that in the Pick'em contest. So I've done all right, better than I usually do.
It's interesting. The last 2 years, for the first time in my life. Maybe it wasn't last year. Maybe it was 2 out of the last 3 years. I have not done a bracket.
Wow.
I've had a mental bracket, but actually writing it on paper, right? Or like on an app. Because I feel like Kay sends the email or Callie sends the email like at, let's call it 7 o'clock. Like, hey, reminder, you got to do this by tomorrow at 11. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do this. And then I do the show and it's 11 and the games have started. I'm like, pfft. I'm not going to be like so many other people in this office that'll just do their bracket afterwards. So I just know what I did do all the questions that they asked, that Callie asked. I did those on time, but everything else I've kind of missed out on.
Yeah, that's something I tend to do, whether I'm in a league or not, just to say I did it. And typically it's trash by this time. And I still have a chance to win at least every game except for one, I think, this in the Sweet 16. So we'll see. I don't know if that's going to happen because I'm going to need a few upsets, including Tennessee over, I think, Iowa State. It's not looking so likely. But hey, who knows? Who knows? I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. Let's go.
Well, so are the Aggies, as I segue into recruiting. They're in it to win it with several top prospects. Did we have some visitors? Are we about to have some visitors? What's the latest?
Both. How about that? This weekend, you had several national prospects. You had a couple running backs, two of the top running back targets, and Sarai Baker and, Landon Williams-Callis. You had Kenny Brown, Jordan Agbanoma, Olu Babola, and Mark Matthews kind of leading the way for a stacked O-line group. And it was you had a good group of tight ends on campus. You had the A&M just did a phenomenal job bringing in some of their top targets, getting them around campus, and really what these spring visits, it's about getting them in the meeting rooms, around the coaching staff, and around the players, and letting them dig into what life is like, what the culture is like, and what to expect at A&M, and see what those coaches bring to the table. And I think they did a really good job of that based on the feedback we're getting from a lot of these top prospects.
So talk to me about the 27 offer that went through again.
Yeah, Jackson Cook, Austin Westlake. He played his first year at Austin Westlake last fall. I moved in, I want to say, from Lago Vista. But he is, 6'4", 6'5", 295, 300 pounds. I've seen him several times in the camp setting. And he's just always been he's been one of those standouts. He's not the, highest rated guy. He's not the, he's a borderline 4-star, just because, but he's smart. He's versatile. He's gritty. And he's a guy that you can play at a number of different positions. He has been to A&M a few times. He camped last summer. had a standout performance, and it was good to see Coach Cushing and the staff kind of pull the trigger on that one. I think that's when I don't want to say he's been waiting on it, but it's A&M's been a school he's been watching, and that's an offer he's been working towards. And to see him get that offer was pretty fun to see.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. Jason, I just scrolled through our football recruiting section and like the amount of interviews you guys have done recently. So I'm just going to kind of throw you out some names, and then just tell me a little bit about some of these conversations. The 28 wideout Jaden Herndon.
Yeah, so he visited over the weekend. Longview wide receiver, one of the top in the state, and he received his offer is April, from Texas A&M. He's visited a few times. Was in College Station for a 7-on-7 camp that A&M had, and he returned for the state champion 7-on-7 tournament as well. And he's still pretty early in his recruitment, but he really enjoyed his visit. He like I mentioned earlier, one of the things he really took away was sitting in those meeting rooms and watching Holman Wiggins go through everything. And Holman was the one that was kind of leading the recruitment early on. Now he's OC. It was fun for him to see what that role looks like and the direction of the offense. But he went for, I want to say, over 1,600 yards as a sophomore last year, first team all district. He played a lot as a freshman at Longview, which really doesn't happen, and so he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on, and a big time receiver to watch in that 28 class. And A&M's laying the groundwork there.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. All right, let's talk about the 27, Jackson Cook, the offensive lineman.
Yeah, he picked up that offer, and he talked about watching Coach Cushing and the staff go to work and teach, and honed in on their teaching styles and just what they asked their offensive linemen to do and how they explain things. He wasn't expecting the offer, but he talks a lot about what it means for A&M to offer and what he's got coming up. He's got a couple more unofficial visits for the spring, and he's got 4 official visits already lined up. He's working on Texas, and A&M, we'll see what happens if they can get on that official visit schedule. It's already getting packed, and those kind of things have a way of changing, when the Aggies get involved. He also, after the interview, he picked up an offer from South Carolina on Monday. So you see his stock is on the rise as schools get a chance to see him and watch his film and see his skill set.
Talk to me about the DeSoto running back, Sarad Baker.
Yes, so he's been a pretty frequent visitor, but Trooper Taylor's really done a phenomenal job there establishing that relationship. He's talked very highly of Coach Taylor, from the very beginning. Coach was very honest with him about, hey, this is what you need to do in order to be a real prospect for us, and kind of gave him a real, honest conversation about the expectations and the needs and the things they needed to see. And he has really respected that. So he was back in town over the weekend. A&M just continues to be high on his list. He's good friends with Tiger Ryden. He was backup to Tiger when he was at DeSoto, and last year was kind of his first chance to seize the opportunity to be DeSoto's feature back, and he had a record-setting year, one of the best, if not the best, running back season in DeSoto Eagle history. Which that's saying a lot, considering it's probably, if you want to find a high school program that's been producing running backs for a long time, DeSoto is probably at the top of that list when it comes to the state of Texas. So, but he's got A&M, he's got Texas Tech, Florida State, Texas coming up on his schedule as far as visits. He's got an official visit to A&M and a official, I know, scheduled to Texas as well. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, I expect the Aggies to be very much involved there with all the ties and the connections he's had with the coaching staff.
Jason, I saw this update a couple of days ago. The Aggies remain in the mix for the quarterback, Neiman Lawrence.
Yeah, so he was a prospect that was talked about as possibly reclassifying to 2027, which probably would have taken A&M out of the running. But he is, he's decided to stick with the 2028 class. A&M's in his top 10. It's a loaded group. He's got several SEC schools involved, and he's got a busy spring schedule, and it looks like he's going to be making a commitment decision as soon as, we may be hearing about him in late April, May, after he takes these visits, trying to get things really settled in and figured out as far as his next journey on the college level. So, but A&M's in there. He talked a lot about watching Marcel's development and what it meant for him to see a program stick with a quarterback and develop a quarterback, and what that means, for A&M's chances and all that, is really promising for him to see that, there are programs out there that are not just digging into the portal every time looking for a starting quarterback if they got that guy on campus.
Jason, he's not the only quarterback they've been talking to. And help me say the last name, Trey Tagliaferri.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Bam! Let's go.
Hey, that's what I said, and he didn't correct me, so I'm going to go with that. But yeah, they hosted him. It was his first chance to get to A&M. Big-time quarterback out of Bergen Catholic in New Jersey. A&M's been very active up there. He talked about having a former teammate, Jermaine Kinsler, already on campus, and he got a chance to sit down with Jermaine and have some real honest conversations about everything. But he had a great time talking ball with Coach Wiggins, Coach Lynch, and the whole staff. He's already trying to figure out how to get back down, but he's going to be a busy man. He's got he's got a full schedule. I think Ole Miss, Texas, were a few mentioned. He just picked up a Kentucky offer, and the Wildcats have been very popular since they've got Will Stein over there in Lexington now with the quarterback. So I expect for them to probably figure out a way to jump in the mix there. But he enjoyed it and was really impressed and is excited to find out more about the A&M program.
Jason, when NFL scouts are looking at prospects, they consider the Big Ten and the SEC clearly above other conferences, at least for the volume numbers, especially for the SEC, right? And I'm looking at these A&M recruits that have been visiting, since Elko's been here and even during the Jimbo era. And I look at the high schools they come from, right? Powerhouses, IMG Academy, Bergen Catholic, like DeSoto, like all these. Talk a little bit about that like the reputation of the high school and their ability to identify and develop talent, and then having a relationship with A&M and these guys that they're pursuing.
Well, I think it goes down to the culture as much as anything. Those programs have winning cultures. And they bring that to your program as much as their athleticism. When you have an elite prospect from those programs, John Bosco, Mater Dei, Bergen Catholic, St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, they have a mentality that they bring to the table, as well as their physical attributes, and they're used to putting in that work, being challenged on a daily basis, and pushed to greatness. They're not afraid of competition. If they are, they don't last long at those programs. So it is, I think that is a lot of it, and that's why you see those programs continue to be successful year in, year out, and produce high level prospects. Because if you're producing at those schools, chances are you've got a lot of eyeballs on you. You're going to have a lot of college coaches through those programs, and regardless of what any of the rankings say, TexAgs, 247 on 3, whatever, those guys tend to go on to be highly successful, and they can add to your program on the field and off the field, and I think that's what makes them so attractive.
How did the visit for Kamari Dorsey go?
Well, Dorsey is coming in April, but he was at the OT7s this weekend in Dallas, and that was my first chance to see him. You guys, you're going to love this kid. If you haven't heard the interview, I strongly suggest you go listen to it. Just listening to him talk about the A&M program and why he chose A&M and the family feel. He's already got, strong bonds in the DB room, and within the recruiting class. And he's super excited about the future and what's to come in College Station, working with Jaquan Snell, another top safety in the class. And he's very, very proud of the direction and everything that's happening in College Station. But just watching him in the 7-on-7 setting, I would say he's every bit of 6'3", 200 pounds, just incredibly fluid athlete. And it's easy to see why so many are projecting him to be that guy on the field. Like we talked about last week, he is he could play anywhere in the secondary. He's been a playmaker on offense as well, and just brings a tremendous athleticism to the table, as well as a big personality. He totally gets the culture, and is there's a lot of reasons to be excited about Kamari Dorsey. I mentioned it last week. It's a lot of these guys in this class. Whether you're talking about, Cade McCarty or, Kamari Dorsey, Jaquan Snell, they bring a lot to the table off the field and leadership and just personality, culture fit type stuff. It's just a lot of Raylan Henry's the same way. You get a lot of these guys that you can see why they mesh with the program and why they've been able to come together. But Kamari Dorsey, very impressive. If you haven't listened to the interview, go listen to it. I don't care if you've read articles and seen quotes. Listen to what he says and how he says it, and he's definitely one to get excited about.
When you say he's got a big personality, is it like funny? Is it loud? Is it just kind of engaging?
It's just very engaging. It comes off very genuine, and he's just excited about the program. I wouldn't say maybe big personality is not the right term, but he's just he just brings that right culture, and when he talks, people listen, kind of thing. And he's about business and getting to work. And I think at the risk of going overboard on the praise, I mean, geez, he's just a very impressive young man. And whether you talk to his coaches, the teachers, the people around him, everybody kind of says the same thing. He's a complete package kind of guy, where it's not just football, it's character, it's everything in between.
Great stuff, Jason. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with a little bit more on the other side, all right?
Absolutely.
We'll hit a break here. Right now we're talking about Heritage Films. They make people's stories. So you've got a story, Jason's got a story, we all got stories, right? And what Chance and his team does is they put that together in a very Netflix-style documentary. You may be asking yourself, you may not be asking yourself, but just in case you are, like, why would I do a documentary about myself? Well, it's not necessarily about you. Yeah, the story could be about you, but it's about your family and the future generations. And this is like, we did one for my dad, who I've told you many times, he's in his 90s, he's 95. It was just so cool to see him talk about how he met my mom, how he escaped Cuba, how, his education from Cuba, when he came to the U.S., he had to relearn everything, and his education didn't mean anything, and he did it, and he started becoming a great engineer here in town. All these great things that my dad did that I know the story, but I don't know how to tell the story the way my dad tells the story. So then when my kids got to watch it, they got to hear him do it. And by the way, in 20 years, their kids can watch it too and know about the family story. I really think it's a powerful moment when you all watch it together and you just go through the process. Chance makes it super easy. You're going to love it. And I really think you need to reach out to him. 713-893-8341. Again, that's 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. The website is yourheritagefilm.com. And we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. So, Mr. Howell, Jason Howell on the Bucky's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We still have some big events happening this weekend in Dallas, right? There's just more traction, more stuff going on.
Yeah, OT7s is going to continue. I think there's 4 more weekends of OT7s. They take a break there in early April, but they'll be right back at it this weekend and the weekends after that. So, yeah, and it is there really are a ton of top prospects. I mean, I got to see Eric McFarland for the first time in person and catch up with him. That's another update you're going to want to check out. It's got A&M very high on his list. Mario Craver is a guy that they've really been talking about that kind of role with him, and he's very much paying attention to that. He's got a ton of connections with the coaching staff and the recruiting class. Dakota Garant plays on the same South Florida Express team as Eric, another big-time receiver out of Harper Woods, Michigan. And he'll be in College Station actually this weekend. So definitely you got to keep an eye out on Miami, Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, a few of the other schools involved there. But yeah, it's a chance to see a ton of top guys, and it's an interesting atmosphere. I told somebody it's kind of got like an NBA All-Star Weekend type of feel to it. It's theatrics and fun, and these guys get to cut loose and have a good time on the football field and do some celebrations and things like that. But you can check it out. I want to say on the Overtime YouTube, they have a lot of broadcasts, and we'll be out there getting updates on top guys. One of my favorite guys I saw this fall was out there this weekend. And A&M really hadn't been mentioned in contention with him, but it's Powder Springs, McEachern, 2028 safety Casey Barner. Last August, when I went out to Georgia, I got to see him play at the Corky Kell Classic in Mercedes, and he was. I didn't know who he was. I didn't have him on my radar, but the kid had 341 all-purpose yards, and including like a 98-yard kickoff return and a long fake punt, and then they had some other thing. I want to say he made a lot of plays on defense as, being recruited as a safety. But he told me this weekend that he's going to be visiting A&M for the first time, April 17th, and he's excited to build that relationship there and see what it's all about. But Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, LSU, Miami are a few of the other schools involved. I think A&M's got some ground to make up before I call them a contender there, but getting them on campus is the first step. And as someone who saw this young man play and had zero expectations and, went from he was just a surefire standout in that game, and it was one of the more impressive performances I saw all year. He's definitely one to put on your radar as an A&M fan to possibly watch, see how it grows and develops. And A&M's been known to make up ground and make strong impressions once they get on campus.
Jason, last thing for you. Let's talk about some May and June official visits that are in the pipeline or potentially in the pipeline.
Absolutely. The first big weekend for official visits for A&M is going to be that May 29th weekend. And A&M's got several big-time targets supposed to be in on that weekend, including two pretty big and vocal Texas A&M commits and Jace Johnson, Cade McCarty. But you got a loaded weekend for receiver with Eric McFarland, Bryson Thrower, Jaden Upshaw. You've got several offensive linemen planning to come in, including one, Jordan Agbanoma, who was in town this weekend, big-time prospect out of Georgia. And he's got, Florida, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Nebraska on, kind of high up on his list. After this weekend, he was like, "Hey, I gotta tell you, A&M and Nebraska kind of edging out a little bit in front. So interior offensive line prospect, I got to watch, and he'll be back in town at the 1st of May. And those weekends are loading up. June 5th is already it's got several, and there's a good mixture of commits and top targets that are supposed to be in for each of these weekends. Sherrod Baker will be in on that June 5th. Kennedy Brown and Caden Henderson, big-time linebacker out of Tampa, Florida. I mean, these are going to be loaded with national prospects. A&M is A&M's doing a good job of getting these guys secured and scheduled for visits, and that's always a promising deal because you're going to see a lot of movement in the recruiting process between now and early July. I know Agbanoma talked about his birthday. He wants to make a decision on July 3rd on his birthday. So we'll see what happens there. But A&M's very much in the mix there. All these guys that are coming to campus, you're going to be hearing the Aggies very much involved, and you may see some of these guys start to nail down a decision. Like we said, it's safe to bet that you'll see 2, 3, maybe even 4 decisions this spring, but the vast majority are going to be coming in the summertime, and chances are they're going to stick. If A&M's taking care of business on the field and delivering on their promises to the guys that are on campus, and these kids can see what A&M's doing out there, A&M's going to be able to hold on to a vast majority of these guys, and by that I mean 90% of these guys. Once they're committed in June, they're sticking.
Jason, great stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, anytime.
Thank you, Jason Howell, there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with Kendall Rogers, talk a little Aggie baseball. In Texas, your HVAC system isn't a luxury; it's a necessity. And when you need service, it matters who you call. And I hope you call Daily Company. That's right. The Daily Company is a locally owned and operated company with real pride in serving this community. Their HVAC department provides comprehensive service, including repairs, maintenance, and full system installation. Whether your AC stops working in the middle of the summer, or your heater needs attention before it gets super cold, they got you. They'll do what they got to do to make sure that you're in the right spot. Their team works with all the major brands, from Lennox to Trane to Goodman to Rheem to Honeywell to Daikin to Amana. So whatever system you have, they got you. That's what they do. They got you, and they'll continue to get you. At Daily Company, they stand behind their work. Call them up, 979-260-2020. That's 979-260-2020. Stay comfortable year-round with a local team that you can trust. It's the Daily Company.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Going back to baseball. We started the show off with baseball. We close out the show with baseball. We go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Our buddy Kendall Rogers from D1Baseball joining us, as he always does on Wednesdays. Kendall, what up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, man?
You sound like you had a late night. Are you good?
I'm good. I'm getting over a cold, so no better way to get over a cold than go to Bluebell Park on Saturday with 30-mile-an-hour winds and allergies blowing everywhere.
Well, did you go Sunday as well? Because Sunday was more fun from my perspective.
I did not go Sunday. I went Saturday, but just looking at that Sunday game real quick at that series, I really thought, and I kind of wrote this Saturday night in a tweet, but I think you learned a lot about A&M's kind of mindset. It's really easy when a team kind of punches you in the mouth, 2 games in a row like that. And frankly, they weren't really in either of those games. And it'd be easy, especially when you look back to last year, it'd be really easy for that team to kind of go, well, look, here we go again. But, instead they come out on Sunday, they're the aggressor. And I think the other big thing for me is, the offensive production's fine. That's great. But I think the fact that Aiden Sims went out there and gave A&M a really good start, I think it was kind of icing on the cake. I think that was extremely important after the way that, the first 2 starts had gone in the previous 2 games for him to go out there and give them a really good start. I think it gives the pitching staff a little bit of confidence. So, obviously you want to win a home series in the SEC. You don't want to lose your first 2 SEC series. But I think the way that they responded was pretty impressive.
Kendall, I said this earlier in the show. I have kind of 2 thoughts about this program right now. One is, dude, this is a hard start to everything in the SEC is hard, right? But, a couple really tough series to start your SEC campaign. But I expect A&M to be that level of team. So based on what you've seen so far, how much of it is, look at the teams you played and how much of it is, A&M's got a long way to go.
Yeah, I don't think they have a long way to go. I think their margin for error is not great, specifically on the mound. But, I mean, offensively, they're going to be better than they were, this past weekend. I think if you look at the first series against Oklahoma, we're kind of finding out Oklahoma's pretty good. I kind of told everybody that, because I saw them opening weekend. But, that was a series that they were, a hit or two away from taking a road series against Oklahoma. So, I thought that series kind of told me more probably than even this past one. I think this past one, the first two games, is kind of one of those weekends. But I don't think A&M is far off. I just think A&M, from a pitching standpoint, man, it's just they're going to have to get really consistent starts. They're going to have to get some length from those guys because you cannot afford in the SEC to have to throw a fresh corner, throw a Vargas or a guy like that 2 or 3 times on a weekend. You just can't do it because if you get to the end of April or the beginning of May, those guys are going to be worn out. So I think just kind of, how JK and Mike, how they kind of, I don't know, set up these roles or kind of move these roles around as the SEC schedule progresses is going to be really interesting to me. And ultimately will kind of tell, the story of this season for, I think, this team.
Look, obviously, nothing's a must-win this early, but I look at these next 2 series as must-win series to get not only the mindset in the right direction. I think there's nothing wrong with it where they are. I'm saying just the vibes around the program, and also knowing what's still ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the next 2 weekends, I mean, if you're going to contend for a regional spot or a regional host. And frankly, if you lose both, you're in trouble for anything. But I'm just saying, if your goal, which a goal A&M should be to be a regional host at minimum, you've got to win these next 2 series. I mean, you go to Missouri. I mean, again, I don't know if you're Mike Gurley. I don't know how you could possibly motivate your team more to want to go on the road and beat up on Missouri after what happened last year. They basically ruined A&M's season last year in College Station. And Missouri has improved, but you get Missouri on the road, a series you should win. You come back home to play a Vanderbilt team who just found out today their ace in Austin Nye is out for the season. So, I mean, and they're playing really bad baseball right now. They've got injuries. They're just not very consistent. So you're probably winning those next 2 series. And then, oh, by the way, you've got the Texas Longhorns in 3 weeks. And Jim Schlossingel's return. So, I mean, again, that's a series that, as of right now, Texas is a better baseball team. But you're in College Station, although you have the emotion. So you're looking at a situation here where A&M can win 3 straight series, and all of a sudden we're talking about top 16 and not just, hey, can they get in the tournament?
So I'm comparing last year to this year just because I want to talk about the midweek, because the midweek games last year weren't as kind, and then A&M had to do be excellent in SEC play. And there was a stretch where they were, right? Especially against some really top teams. This year, they've been excellent in the midweeks. So talk about that as part of their resume building if they can string along together a couple of SEC series.
Yeah, I think that what it's allowed them to do is it's kept their RPI high. And again, I always caution people this time of year to, don't take too much stock in the RPI because you're still seeing some oddities here and there. Like Missouri State, for instance, being number 5 right now. A good team, but they're not a top 5 RPI team. But, A&M's sitting at 16 right now, and a lot of that is because they had not slipped up in the midweek. And, I have liked their midweek approach. I was at the game last week with my family, the Texas State game, and, they got off to a really slow start, and it was like all of a sudden they just kind of turned on the switch. So they've kind of found their sweet spot in those midweek games to where either they get an early lead or they're able to just kind of turn that switch on when they need to. And what those midweek games does, it gives you a lot of cushion because, if you're this selection committee, and let's say you take care of business in all your midweek games, but maybe you have a 16, 14 or, a couple of game under 500 record in the SEC, it looks more like the SEC is just that good than it does that you're not that good because you're beating pretty good teams in the midweek.
Kendall, let's kind of look at this Texas last week. Well, they go 4 or am I right? 2-2 in the 4 games. They had the heartbreak against Auburn yesterday. The comeback from Houston. Talk to me about. Obviously, you already mentioned there how good of a team they are, but the interesting week that they had.
Yeah, it was interesting. To get. I think it was 2 hit, maybe 1 hit or 2 hit. I think it was 2 hit against Tarleton and then go on the road to Auburn, which I don't know if you watch any of those games, but man, the atmosphere at Auburn last weekend was pretty awesome. That is not a place that has been synonymous with awesome atmospheres in the past. So, job well done by AU to kind of get that atmosphere cooked up. But I mean, I think the biggest thing for me when I look at Texas, and that's the kind of the biggest series waiting in the wings for A&M, is really like the offense. Casey Borba, their first baseman, has been sizzling hot. I mean, they are a menace offensively. It'll remind you a lot of the offenses that Schloss had at A&M. They're going to make you throw strikes, and if you do not throw strikes, they will wear you out. And so offensively, they're in a good spot. I would say the only thing that kind of worries me about them a little bit is the back end of the bullpen. It's been a little bit of an issue. Thomas Burns has been a little hot and cold. Those young arms they have, they're really good, the Stan Cozarts of the world, but they're also, some outings are really good, and some outings, I mean, it's pretty iffy. So I can promise you that's causing a lot of heartburn with Schloss over there. But yeah, that's the biggest question mark for me is just the stability of the bullpen. It's just been a little erratic at times.
Kendall, UCLA, another really good week. When we talk about A&M's losses, they've lost to some really good teams, right? So, but UCLA seems to be the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I mean, you even go back to the A&M game. I mean, they look like they're a professional baseball team in terms of their approach, not in terms, I'm not saying they can go out and beat the Astros, but just in terms of their approach, they look like a professional baseball team. It's just, every single weekend, I commend John Savage, their head coach, because it would be easy in that league with some of the teams that you play to go in a weekend and just kind of sleepwalk. I mean, they don't sleepwalk. I mean, they are going to every weekend like a team on a mission. And, whether it's Rock Chalowski or Gasparino or, Mulavai Lavu, I mean, those guys, I mean, the lineup is deep. They're pitching at a high level. I was just watching a couple innings of Cal Randall last night, the reliever. I mean, he was up to 98 with just outrageous stuff. And so, to me, they are, very clearly the number one team in college baseball right now.
Great stuff, my friend. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Buddy, see you soon.
See you, man. Kendall Rogers on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with a brand new segment. The jury is out of how great it'll be, but I think it's going to be excellent. We'll do that on the other side. I'll explain that to you, or I'll have somebody else explain it to you on the other side. Right now, Milliken Reserve Farm-to-Table Community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They've got 2,600 acres of open space, 30 miles of trails. They got beautiful homes. They got it all. And we want you to be outdoors, all right? Being indoors, you get depressed. That's what happens. I don't write the rules. It just happens. If you're not outdoors, you're going to be mad. Get outdoors, go hiking, biking, canoeing, jump rope, I don't know, climb a tree, throw a football, look at the grass, whatever. Watch sunsets. You can do that at Milliken Reserve better than any other place. The website is millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. Check it out. In case you missed it, we have a new segment here on TexAgs Live. Because Kaylee and Sydney Dreyer, Sydney Clevenger, they took Around Aggie Land, they put it in a blender, they destroyed it, and they threw it away. They came up with a new idea, and that is called what, Kaylee Dreyer?
In case you missed it.
What did we miss? Explain it to me, both of you guys.
So basically, we decided to do something new and different, done with Around Aggie Land, because most of our viewers on TexAgs Live, former students, die-hard Aggie sports fans, you already know the stats, the scores, the roster, everything. Y'all don't need help there. But that's where we come in now. We're here to keep you in the loop on the other side of college sports. So the pop culture, the drama, the gossip, the stuff that's blowing up online that you might have missed out on. So in order for you to keep up with the younger crowd, your kids, your coworkers, whoever it is, and actually know what they're talking about, we're here to tell you.
All right, so why did you guys kill out Around Aggie Land, though? People don't know what's going on. They didn't know there was a football game or a basketball game going on.
Well, I feel like everything that we talk about on the show is about sports. And we think that if things are trending and if people are talking about it, if it's all over social media, you guys might want to know about it.
Okay.
So we're here to bring it to you.
Well, what have I missed?
Well, this week, our example that we've been seeing all over social media is people just now realizing that KC's nickname is just his first and his last name. So if you're saying KC Concepcion, you're saying Kevin Concepcion.
Concepcion squared. So you asked me, here's a tweet from Elite College Football. Is that a tweet or Instagram? It says,
Instagram.
Odd nickname. KC and KC Concepcion is literally just his name. So we've been calling, okay, gone. Okay.
Multiple stories about this. And I don't know why, because I thought it was obvious.
So I think I told you guys at the break. I knew that a year ago, but I forgot that. Like, I just started thinking, like, I remember whenever they got KC, I saw Kevin Concepcion written everywhere, right? And then it became KC Concepcion. And then I don't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday. It just became, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
Could have been Kevin Conrad Concepcion. I didn't know. Isn't Kevin Conrad the guy who played Batman on a cartoon? Nick, Google that just for me. Find out. I think I'm right about that. Anyway, why do you give me dirty looks?
I've just never seen Batman. Me neither.
Oh, Kevin Conroy. All right. His cousin is Kevin Conrad. Anyway, so people are making a big deal. This just okay, your generation is screwed. The things you people talk about.
There's multiple stories about this. But that's huge platforms. Like, why is it a story?
Hey, can I give you guys an assignment?
Yes.
Can you figure out why the hell Facebook and Instagram is creating fake stories that our coach says about certain things that never happened? Have you guys seen these things?
My mom believes all of them.
Mike Elko said this about so-and-so getting married. No, he didn't, because I know about every media appearance he's had. No, he never said that. It's like fake. You guys are part of the problem and the solution.
That is true. Well, that's why we're here, to tell you in case you missed it.
All right.
Yeah.
Next week. Oh, by the way, yes, claps, everybody. Next week, we're going to do some more.
Yes, yeah. We'll have different examples every single week.
Maybe I'll give you one in case you missed it. I don't get on social media enough.
Yeah.
I'm done. I go to the NCAA tournament. I tweet 5 times. I'm good. I'm good for 6 months. Thank you, guys. Great job. Appreciate you. And thank you to all of our great guests. Tomorrow on the show, Nick Savage hosting it, because I'm going to be high-roxing. If you don't know what that means, too bad. See you next time.